Yeah, just Funny Mick here from Swenson's Mowing and Grounds Maintenance. Guess what? Guess what? It's bloody raining again. Oh, how would you be? How would you be? Have a look at this. I haven't been able to get into my lawn. Just hang on a second. Just take my glasses off, my glasses. Just have a look at this. That is a spongy, all that through there. So, it's a bit of a service time. It never seems to be a never-ending story. So, what I'm doing here, I've just popped the I've got a new set of blades on the SDR, so I've been spending a bit of money on it, more than I'd like, but you've got to do these things because I was wanting a little bit for the cutting. Let's have a look at that there, disrupt that. See, I thought that was corrosion, but it's not. What can I say? Yeah, so here we are. I'll just get my glasses out of the roads. I don't want to drop them. They're about $400, them bloody things. 400 big ones. Now, these are the two different air filter foam surrounds that go around the cola. So I've just wiped all that out. Going to re-grease that. Just putting this back on so in case no dog hair falls down it. What we got here is I'll just sit that on. I'm going to re-grease around that rim there. That's just sitting on there for the time being. Two different thicknesses. Cole gave us a thicker one the other day and it actually works better. Because it actually comes right down, you can butt it right up down to there, so it fits over the outside of this. And it comes up over and then it just folds back over and then that closes down where you can see those plastic lines there go down through here and hold that down. And I reckon, because this here, well, it's probably wide enough, but I just reckon that works a bit better. Now that's a cleaned one. That's one of my cleaned ones there. I rotate about 6 of them. They're only about $10 each or $12 each or whatever they are, they're not dear. But the extra life you get out of that air filter there, fair enough, it's been wet. It's been extremely wet. But you have a look at that element. Now, they're not like the Donaldson type filters where you have an inside filter and you have an outside filter. So you've got this paper filter here and you obviously got that goes over that. I'm not going to put it on until I oil it up. So just a thin engine oil. It's plenty good enough. Put gloves on, squeeze the engine oil into it and just squeeze the engine oil out of it because you don't want it too saturated. You richen up the engine too much. It makes it too hard for the air to suck through if you've got it absolutely oil bathed in oil. So yes, there's not really much else I can tell you. I've just been doing a little bit of work on the little brap. Geez, I reckon that little knobby looks good on there, doesn't it? So I've just got to do a bit more work and just had it running. Had to charge the battery the other day because I hadn't been using it for ages. Went out and give it a bit of a ride on the weekend, Sunday arb, but getting back to this here. Now I've been doing tests because I'm going to have to up my hourly rate shortly. I'm running on $55 an hour at the moment for this thing. Well, $55 an hour flat across the board here in South East Queensland. And not making enough cabbage, I can assure you that. So this mower here, I think in the going up here, which is always fairly heavy, it's never not heavy in summer up here. Like if you just look at that there, that's 100 to 150 mil high, and that's a week. And most people run out here to about 2 weeks because it just becomes too expensive. Now, what I think I'm going to have to do here is I'd started off on 50, gone up to 55 a few months ago for new customers because I like to try and be as good as I can with my old customers and obviously new ones too. But so I was talking to Blake the other day, the 42-inch one of these today on the way to work, He's a contractor and he's on 65. So I'm going to go up to 60 with this one. Like I said, it's chewing, you're looking at between, like I said, 7 and 8 litres an hour in heavy going, and that's always heavy going, so we'll just say round or out 8 litres, multiply that by $1.80 a litre at the moment. So, you know, I made yesterday on a big lawn and I upended nearly 2 tanks of fuel into this 3-hour lawn, and pretty well 3 hours full. So it's 2 tanks of fuel in 3 hours, just about 5 minutes under 3 hours. That lawn I do for $150, but you go to, I think it's a 12 litre fuel tank on this. So we're looking at over 20 litres of fuel anyhow, definitely over 20 litres of fuel. You're talking a lot of money. You multiply that out by $1.80 a litre by 20. That's about 30, well, let's say $35 out of 150 for 3 hours. So you're left with 115 for 3 hours work, which that's just not adding up. New blades there yesterday, got them put on. One had been sharpened but had like a bit of a kick in it, and it was cutting a little bit low on one side. So I thought, bugger it, I better get a new set on. I think they're $125 fitted. So it all adds up. Engine oil, change of engine oil, 2 litres every 50 hours, 2 litres plus you'll add a little tiny bit between oil changes. Oil filter, fuel filter, I got the transmission service the other day, $235. So you're talking money. Then you've got the ute to run around, so it just all adds up. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to readjust. I don't like to, but looks like I'm going to have to, because I'm not making enough hay while the sun shines, and then you're running into this wet weather. Well, fair enough, wet weather, you can't do much about that. But yeah, I think I've just got to probably move it up again move it up shortly up to probably 60, 65 for this, and probably $55 an hour for brush cutting. There again, $55 an hour, you got brush cutter, you got oil, you got fuel, fairly wear and tear, you go through a fair few heads, they don't last that long. Insurance, it all adds up. But look, I'm going to leave it at that, I don't need to go on any more about it. But so I'll give her a bit of a grease, but I don't know they'll be doing too much more for the rest of the week. So effectively I've only earned about $300 for the first 2 days this week, so it's not real good. And but anyhow, you've got to take it. That's the way it is, and there are plenty of other things I can do, but no money making things. That's the problem. I might have to look at a bit of other stuff too. I'm going to leave it at that. Sweno Mick from Swenson's Mowing and Grounds Maintenance. Sweno Mick from Sweno Mick. Be happy. Enjoy the rain while it's here. Australia's looking beautiful at the moment. I was watching a thing on a truck driver driving all up through 7 days, and 7 days of an X amount of thousands of kilometres. And he was driving up through, he went up through Charleville, Longreach, up into Mount Isa, out through the border, into the Northern Territory, and the countryside's looking absolutely stunning all up through there at the moment because they've had a lot of rain. And the rain here, man, she's a bloody wet. She's a wet start to 2022, I can tell you. It's reminiscent of 1974 up here, as I can remember as a 12-year-old or 11-year-old in 1974. Hang on, yeah, 11-year-old. It was bloody wet, but we had cyclones down, I think, then, if I remember rightly. But just look at the mould on that fence there, and you can't see it, but it's just full-on misting rain, and they reckon we're coming into a lot more rain. So look, I'm going to leave it at that. Sweno Mick, not mowing at the moment. You can only laugh about it. Luckily, my wife's got a good job, or I might be in a spot of bother. I could be living in my Falcon ute otherwise. So I'm going to leave it at that. Sweno Mick. Be nice to your fellow human beings. Be happy. Don't be aggressive to people. I've seen a bit of aggression this morning. Out getting some coffee, and a couple of blokes had a bit of a dust up out at the coffee. Not punches or anything, but a bit of an argument, and pretty full on. And I don't really like to see that sort of thing. I like to try and be a real pacifist these days. I used to be fairly aggressive, and I've settled it down. So I'm going to leave it at that. Sweno Mick, a beautiful looking rainforest tree there. Sweno Mick out.